Using timelines to develop chronological understanding. In Year 1 and 2, children are given a simple horizontal timeline in order to record events that they study across the years. Each of the timelines comes with a set of key events linked to the Learning Challenge curriculum units that the children can add across the year. These key events and people of historical significance can be detached from the timeline before it is used. Each of these should then be cut out individually, and the children can be guided in terms of placing them on the timeline. On the timelines, there are guidelines for where to place the specific events. The idea here is that through good teacher modelling and support, children can begin to consider the order in which they place events on the timeline. In this way, they can start to develop their own chronological framework that can be built on year. And on the Year 2 example, all of the Year 1 events are already placed to support the development of this chronological framework. There are completed versions of the Year 1 and Year 2 timelines in order to support teacher knowledge and to use as models for the children. In Year 3, the timeline begins fairly blank with only learning from Key Stage 1 present. As you progress through the year groups, you start to build on learning, and at the start of each year, the previous year group's chronology is in place for the children to build upon, until you get to Year 6, where the majority of it is there for them. Each of the time periods is reflected in a key that the children can add to. The basic principle of these timelines is that children can look back and review the chronology of prior history topics that they have learnt about, and then add to it as the year progresses. You can see here that the Roman period is being added to a timeline for Year 4. There are several different versions. On some there are guidelines so that children know roughly where to place their time periods and the dates can be added. And on others you have the dates given, just to ensure that those children who find it tricky to place things can do it successfully. The children then add this carefully to their key at the top so that they can refer back to it and they know which time periods they've labelled. As the children add further time periods across the year, they'll begin to develop an understanding of how those time periods can overlap one another and develop their chronological understanding in a much more secure way.